You, an ordinary high school student, was reincarnated into a new world as the patriarch. Late at night there was a young girl bathing on the riverbank. You was using his phone to see which formation to use for tomorrow's battle. So Feli hugged you, advising him to go rest early. The next morning, the battle between the Wolf tribe and the Horn tribe took place with unique tactics, using a long spear to put pressure on the enemy. You had the upper hand. Just when the enemy was in decline, he ordered the entire army to advance to destroy the enemy. You has been in this world for 2 years. This place is no different from factions fighting for territory. Furthermore, when you first arrived, he still didn't understand what had happened when he became the patriarch. Suddenly an arrow flew towards him. Feli grabbed it and looked towards where the arrow was shot. Immediately afterwards, the forest tribe launched hundreds of arrows towards you, but Feli held the weapon to create a shield, causing the arrows to fall. Later, Rune defeated the commander, bringing victory. She quickly ran to you to report that she had won. To commemorate this victory, you decided to reward Rune. Rune shyly said she wanted to be patted on the head. Back to you himself negotiating with the Horn clan chief. Unexpectedly, the head of the Horn clan was a little girl named Lin. You asked her to be his child. Of course Lin refused. Lin despised you as a weakling. Those rude words made Rune angry, punching the table in warning. Even though she was invited to be her sister, Lin still wanted to refuse, so you threatened to destroy the forest tribe like he did to Van Town. Having said this, she broke down and agreed to be his sister. The burning of Van Town was not caused by you, but he still used it as a weapon to force others to obey him. Seeing that he was tired, Feli hugged you and comforted him so he could recharge his energy. After finishing the job, you and his soldiers returned victorious to the joy of everyone. He was preparing to enter the palace when 2 people mocked you. They thought he won because they prayed to the goddess, which you didn't want to hear at all. You quickly ran back to his room and called his friend Mitsuki. He really wants to go home, but right now he can't find the way back. Mitsuki consoled and encouraged you not to give up hope because she was always waiting for him. Seeing you's loving eyes for Mitsuki made Feli very heartbroken. At night, you was deep in thought. Perhaps this place was somewhere on Earth. The tools and culture here told him he was in the Bronze Age in the northern part of the world. The next morning, Feli and Rune brought him breakfast. Thanks to the windmill you created, they have bread to eat every day. After going out for breakfast, you set out to visit Ingrid's blacksmith workshop. When she met you, she was speechless. It's obvious that he misses you very much, but he says he's too busy forging swords to think about him. Seeing Ingrid being too rude to you, Feli reminded her. She bowed her head and said sorry. Seeing that Ingrid's speech was slurred, Feli allowed you and her to call her by name when they were alone together. You comes to announce that he will soon form a brotherhood with the Horn clan, which means the 2 clans will share weapons, so Ingrid will have to work harder. The next day, the Holy Grail oath ceremony began. Those who swear an oath to the clan leader through the chalice become children or brothers. This relationship is even closer than that of blood, so you won't have to worry about the Wolf clan being targeted by others anymore. In the afternoon, Lin came to find you and asked him to treat the forest tribe like the Wolf tribe people. You patted Lin's head and said he would do as she said without forcing him. This made Lin feel speechless. Suddenly, Feli ran to announce that the forest clan was under attack. You immediately summoned officials to an emergency meeting. There is a great tribe that has captured the western fortress of the Horn tribe. Now the Wolf tribe must gather forces to deal with them and save the forest tribe. But Bruno and other officials objected and thought that the Horned people were only worthy of being slaves, so they did not want to lead troops to save people. You was very angry and punched the table. If he broke the Holy Grail oath, the Wolf clan would be looked down upon, so he would have to bring troops to save him no matter what. In the evening, the patriarch was proud to have come up with a strategy to conquer the Horn clan. Suddenly, the cavalry team led by Rune attacked the Mon clan camp. She caused chaos in the enemy's formation and then withdrew her troops. The next day, the soldiers reported the success of the harassment campaign to Lin, making her very satisfied. A few days ago, you announced that he would save the Horn tribe and ordered Rune to move his army forward to provoke the enemy. And Robin will gather his forces before dawn to prepare to attack the Claw clan. Next, he asked Ingrid to tell Lynn about the saddles used for cavalry. She is from the Horn tribe, so she doesn't want outsiders to know. But when you said it was her sister, Ingrid agreed to reveal the secret. That's why her cavalry was able to accompany you. At this time, the soldiers of the Ba Lang tribe arrived. The enemy was half a day's journey from the Horn clan's citadel, so you decided to let his soldiers rest. For the past 3 days, the Hmong clan camp has been continuously harassed, leaving the clan leader unable to breathe. At this time, scouts reported that the enemy's main force was in the east, so the patriarch ordered his troops to form a battle formation. Due to being harassed by Rune these past few days, the Mongol army is exhausted. The spear attack was only strong on the front line, while the flanks were weak. All of this was predicted by Yu's resignation and a strategy to deal with it. At this time, you knew that the left flank was attacked. You praised the Claw clan leader for finding a weak point to counterattack. You turned to call Rune to rush in and destroy the enemy squad. When the Hoof clan leader was frantically attacking an area, Rune rode after him. He was planning to finish off Rune when she pulled out her sword and cut off the clan leader's spear. After the battle, you went to take a bath. In the living room, he didn't understand why Lin proposed marriage so suddenly, so he wanted her to explain. Lin wants to marry you and they will rule the Horn clan together. Surely there was some secret behind it, so you interrogated this matter to the end. His toughness forced Lin to confess everything. In the Horn tribe, the position of patriarch is determined by ability, not by blood, to avoid the tribe from falling into decline. Lin is the daughter of the previous patriarch. Because he loved her so much, he handed the throne back to Lin, despite outsiders' protests. She was afraid that if she continued, the tribe's leader would one day perish, so she prayed. You didn't seem to want to agree to this marriage, so Feli told Lin that they had to go back to a meeting to discuss with the clan. The next day, you had to wear formal clothes to prepare for the victory ceremony. The town of the Horn tribe looks down from above and is beautiful. But you still had to find a way home, so he couldn't agree to this marriage. Feli knew that, but because she wanted him to stay here, she chose to promote Yu's marriage. If Yu gets married, he will continue to conquer the neighboring country and will not find a way to return. This made her feel disgusting about herself. Yu patted her head and apologized for wanting to leave. Feli is his most trusted friend in this world, so Yu wants her to stop the wedding. They did not know that in the distance there was an uninvited guest planning to disrupt this ceremony. There were 2 little girls peeking around to see where Yu was. Yu performed the victory ceremony in front of all the people. He was then served by Lin. Seeing Yu eating well, Lin immediately fed him more beef. Passers-by saw that they were a good couple and teased them, making Yu and Lin embarrassed. At this moment, Stein appeared, causing a stir in the crowd. He is the chief of the Set clan, ruler of the north. No one welcomes him here, because he is the one who took the life of the previous Horn clan's patriarch. Stein continued to provoke Ramos, making Ramos angry, pulling out his sword to slash him. But Ramos is really not his opponent. With just a snap of his fingers, his sword shattered. After finishing dealing with Ramos, he went to find you. When she discovered that he had bad intentions towards you, Rune ran forward and stopped him. Stein realized that she was the strongest of the Wolf clan. But even so, Rune is not good enough to defeat him and go to face you. Suddenly Lin spoke up. He looked at her for a moment and discovered that Lin was the new Horned clan leader. Because he didn't know what her name was, Stein guessed randomly, causing Lin to plan to hit him. Suddenly you held her hand and told Stein to stop bothering others. Targeting herself was enough. Stein quickly arrived in front of you, but he was not afraid at all, making him feel excited. After learning that the Wolf clan's chief's name was Yu, he left. That night, Yu called Mitsuki and was scolded for not contacting her for 3 weeks. Explained that he was going to war so he couldn't call. The next day, Yu and Feli went down the street to see how people were living. Since the day he invented paper, the trade activities of the Wolf tribe have been vibrant. Suddenly you noticed a slave seller. You raised his hand to buy them back and approached to get acquainted. You immediately asked the guards to take them home to prepare a place to rest and entertain them carefully. The two did not know that all their actions were seen by their twin sisters. Returning to the study room, you was overwhelmed with the backlog of paperwork. Because 2 consecutive battles took place, there was still so much work. Remembering last time, you said he was the person he trusted the most, making Feli enthusiastically rush to work. At this moment, Rune entered the room to announce that the envoy of the Claw tribe wanted an audience. Suddenly 2 messenger sisters ran into his study. The two argued for a while. At this time, Chris and Abet had the opportunity to introduce themselves. They are the daughters of the Claw clan chief and came here to be Yu's wives. Yu was helpless and didn't know what to say. They know some of Yu's secrets. Knowing that he was caught, Yu immediately asked what the two wanted. Actually, Chris is not interested in concubines and only came here to test his heart. Hearing that, Rune immediately wanted to take these 2 kids out. But Yu was able to stop her. Suddenly the 2 sisters knelt down and asked to offer the Holy Grail to Yu to be his children. Knowing that the 2 were approaching him with some intention, Yu gave Chris and Abet the opportunity to prove whether they were worthy of being their children.